If you like this video, why not subscribe? Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry this video is coming to you so late in the week, but I've been kind of in between smaller projects and been working on something a little bit bigger, and that's kind of what you see now. This is the Frugal Studio, something I've been putting together upon the wonderful suggestion by my wife, which was to repurpose a room we've been using for storage, or repurpose part of it as some studio space. And in the past I've done everything in my living room, and it's always been kind of a pain because I've had to set up lights and the camera every single time I wanted to do something and then tear it down when I was done. So it just gets really time consuming and laborious to do all that over and over and over again. That's the way I've been doing it for the last 5 years, and now I've actually got some small space that I can use and dedicate it to just working on the videos for the YouTube channel. And so this is what I've got so far. Right now what you're looking at is just these medium shot of me and then the background here, which I'll explain more about what you see in the back here in a second. But this shot is only lit by a ceiling fan light on this side and incandescent bulb, I believe, inside that globe. And then on the other side we've got one of my old 250 watt work lights pointed at the wall, and that bounce is creating the fill you see on this side. I've also got this aftermarket remote that I bought for my camera, because now, since I'm doing a lot of more things in front of this camera, which I didn't have a remote for, and even though it didn't come with the camera, they aren't very expensive. I got some for about $10, and I'll leave a link below where I got this one. Okay, so on this side of the room there's a green screen, obviously, and if any of you have been watching the Q&A show, you know I'm not a big fan of green screens, but this is not a full background replacement where I stand in front of it and completely change the entire background. It's actually only a partial. Half of the shot is a green screen and half the shot is not. So I'm going to try and implement some interesting effects here, interesting things going on this side of the room. Hopefully will break up the kind of ordinariness of this whole setup. But it's a really tight muslin sheet, or sheet from an old chroma key kit that I've got thumbtacked to the wall, and it's really tight to create a nice even key. And the ceiling fan light is actually doing double duty. It's lighting the chroma key and it's lighting me on this side, so we'll see how good of a key I can pull off of it by how well this thing works out. So that's that. Now back here on this, the top of the room, you see these clamp lights. You're all probably familiar with what a clamp light is. Hardware store light you can clamp to things. And I've got them clamped to some of these storage bins on top here, and they're all pointed up at the ceiling. You might be wondering why they're pointed at the ceiling. Well, I'm using them to illuminate my new countertop here. It's actually just a small desk, but all the countertop shots that I've done in the past have actually been on a real countertop in the kitchen or a table. And now this is just a small desk, but the best way I found to create a bunch of soft light to illuminate this surface is to bounce lights off the ceiling. That's one way I've done it in the past. And so I've got all these lights. I'm actually going to turn them on here right now. I've got 3 LED bulbs in these clamp light fixtures, so they don't generate much heat, but they point at the ceiling and they bounce off the ceiling down to this surface here, which is now being recorded by my camcorder, my old camcorder that I recorded all my videos in the past, and now been repurposed and clamped to this shelf post here with a Frugal Clamp, and is now permanently pointed downward at this surface, so that when I do any kind of countertop type shots, or I'm building something or showing something, that is what you'll see. Now the other thing you might notice in the back here is just this red LED light stick. I actually reviewed this in the past. This is one of those LED strip lights, about 300 little LEDs. They have it on a long strip and an adhesive backing, and you can wrap them and tape them to things, and I've taped them to this piece of PVC. And I really didn't have a lot of use for it, but I thought it might make an interesting background decoration, being slightly out of focus. So that's pretty much the Frugal Studio. Hopefully we'll see how well this all works out. And I hope I've given you some ideas if you want to do the same thing for yourself. If you're looking to maybe repurpose a part of a room, you don't need an entire room to make a studio. You can use part of one, and I hope I've given you some good ideas to allow you to do that. This has been the Frugal Filmmaker, and thanks for watching.